Well, thank you for returning as we continue with the study on You Can Make a Difference. And we want to talk about a young man by the name of Peter Kai, who made a difference to his peers and colleagues. This is a picture of the memorial service at Harvard University, where he was enrolled as a student in the med program. Sydney Smith provides this quote as we begin this brief biography. It is the greatest of all mistakes to do nothing because you can only do little. Do what you can. Peter Kai's hometown newspaper, the Pittsburgh Tribune Review, runs a touching story on him, which I quote. Peter Kai had a way of making those around him smile and relax, the Tribune Review reports. A junior at Harvard University, Mr. Kai was never too busy to help an acquaintance or calm a stranger. He was most passionate about helping other people, said his father, Quine Chai. There was a girl who was very nervous about midterms, and she ate dinner in the cafeteria next to Peter. And after talking and eating with him, she would feel very relaxed. Peter may not know how many people he touched in all kinds of ways. Peter Kai of McCandless died Saturday, October 25th in 2008, after collapsing at the end of an intramural run at Harvard in Cambridge, Mass. He was only 20 years old. The cause of death has not yet been determined, according to this news report. Born to first-generation Chinese immigrants, Mr. Kai graduated from North Allegheny Senior High School in 2006 after an accomplished high school career. As president of the Student Council and a member of the district's National Honor Society and countless other organizations, he impressed Principal Larry Butterini. Butterini says, I've been a principal for 18 years, and Peter is probably one of the most extraordinary young men I've ever had the pleasure to work with. He was humble and down to earth. He was an extraordinary, inspiring, and genuine person. An accomplished violinist, Mr. Kai played with the Pittsburgh Youth Symphony Orchestra for 4 years, touring internationally with the troupe. Eve Goodman, the program coordinator and music librarian, said Mr. Kai was a wonderful kid who visited the orchestra, who would often visit the orchestra when he was in town from Cambridge. Mr. Kai studied molecular and cellular biology at Harvard, gaining acceptance after recording perfect scores on both the math and verbal sections of the SAT. He eventually planned to go on to medical school, though his father said he was unsure of what type of medicine he wanted to practice. He would have been a fabulous doctor, says Dr. Judy Palfrey, housemaster of Adams House, where Mr. Kai lived during his sophomore and junior years at Harvard. He was a listener and always wanted to know how you were doing. Mr. Kai continued his musical career in college, performing with the Mozart Society Orchestra at the university. He was involved with several volunteer and academic organizations, as well as teaching English as a second language to Chinatown residents. He had this enduring smile that just drew you in, Palfrey said. Sometimes you'd be really tired and come into the hall and just not want to deal with meeting someone new. He was one of those kids. You make a beeline for him, and he'll be kind and easy to talk to. As co-director of Harvard Emergency Medical Services, Mr. Kai began an initiative that taught CPR and first aid to those unable to afford lessons in nearby Chinatown and inner city areas. Palfrey said that the program likely will be named in his honor. Bottarini called Mr. Kai brilliant and sensitive and said he would do anything he could to help those around him. He was always thoughtful and always thanking people, he said. No doubt he would have gone on and done great things. It's the greatest of all mistakes to do nothing because you can only do little. Do what you can.